Gina Carano warns that those doing evil, unimaginable things should fear the wrath of God. The Mandalorian actress Gina Carano recently warned that individuals and groups who are doing evil, unimaginable things should fear the wrath of God. Carano took to X, or Twitter, whatever you like to call it, where she shared a heartfelt post that appears to be in reaction to the horrors taking place in Israel and the Palestinian territory of the Gaza Strip. She began, I think the horrors of this world can sometimes take some of our breath away. Some people process things inward, not outward. Some are listening and working on becoming more educated. It is not everyone's gift to engage in debates and arguments online. Some gifts are praying, preparing, supporting, acts of kindness, uplifting, simply sitting with someone who is hurting. You don't have to force the words if they are not there. So many are presently in a place of pain and loss and are just working on holding it together. She went on saying, and then there are those who might just be flat out exhausted and out of words for the moment because for the last 3 years straight or longer, they've been screaming at the top of their lungs that the corrupt and unchecked people in positions of power would lead to exactly the world we are living today. So if you need a moment, it doesn't mean your hearts aren't deeply involved, and it doesn't mean you aren't outraged and aren't being supportive. It just means you are doing it in a different way, and you are processing and need to work as hard as you can on holding it together for yourself and your family, and you are working on being a stable person for people in pain to lean on. She then shared her own personal testimony and warned, for me, I have faith God is a just God. He hears our cries and knows our hearts. The wrath of God is what the ones doing evil, unimaginable things should really be in fear of. Not bombs, not human judgment, but God's judgment. I shiver at when they will figure that out. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Understand this is a marathon, not a sprint. We are not heading into easy times. When you are grounded and feel an inner strength and feel called to speak, that is when you speak, she advised. She then issued a call to action saying, now more than ever, work on getting organized, work on getting healthy physically, mentally, and spiritually. Work on supporting your communities and the ones you can reach. These words are spoken with love to whoever needed to hear them, she concluded. I think it would be remiss if I didn't kind of go into a little bit more details on this. I think it's an absolutely powerful message that she is sending there. I pretty much agree with her 100% on everything she's saying, but I do want to kind of provide some more context, provide some more information about what exactly God's wrath is. People might not understand what it is. So we're going to go to Monsignor Charles Pope. He explains that God's wrath is his passion to set things right. Monsignor Pope elaborates saying, in terms of sin, injustice, and anything that hinders the possibility of salvation, God has a wrathful indignation and a passion to set things right. This is part of his love for us. His wrath may be manifested through punishment, disturbance of our conscience, or simply by allowing us to experience the consequences of our sin. You can see there, great image of God's wrath as Jesus Christ turns over the temples, as depicted in the Action Bible by Sergio Cariello. But anyways, moving on, we do get another good example of that actually in fiction. Monsignor Pope actually shared a clip from George Lucas' Raiders of the Lost Ark and explained that this is one example of God's wrath. He said, one of the greatest cinematic depictions of the wrath of God occurred in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Nazis simply think that they can open the Ark and withstand the presence of God. What they get, however, is his wrath, for sin cannot endure the reality of his presence. As for what we can do, Monsignor Pope advises we must be washed clean in the blood of the Lamb and purified. Most of us will need purification in purgatory too. However, if we let the Lord work his saving work, we will be saved from the wrath, for we are made holy and set on fire with his love, and fire doesn't fear the presence of fire. God is love, but he will not change. His love must change us. So I think kind of what Gina Carano is advising, if we go back up here, about getting yourself in healthy physically, mentally, and spiritually, and then work on supporting your communities and the ones you can reach. I think that is the same as what Monsignor Pope is advising as well, just in a different way of doing that in different terms. But I definitely think this is something that we should all be doing, and we should have this fear of God's wrath, not only because obviously it can condemn us to hell and an eternal separation from God and eternal suffering, but also obviously he can bring about here physical pain and stuff like that. But also we should fear God's wrath because we don't want to offend him. We want to love him. He cares for us so much. We should respond to that love with our own love. As Monsignor Pope says there, we should become a fire just like God's fire and become with him. And we want to love him just as much as he loves us back. And that should be the fear that we have too, is that fear of offending his love for us. So I think Gina Carano had a really good, strong message here. Just wanted to share that with you and then provide some additional context from Monsignor Pope, which I do think helps kind of elucidate her message and provides some more to it. I think. So let me know what you think. What do you make of Gina Carano's message here? What do you make of the fact that people need to start recognizing that God's wrath will be upon them if they continue to act in these absolutely awful, heinous, terrible way that they've been acting, especially manifested in kind of the ongoing war that we're now seeing between Israel and Hamas out in Palestine? Obviously, we've been seeing it in Ukraine and Russia as well, in the war there and all this stuff that's happening there. And then obviously we saw it on an even larger scale when we saw absolutely tyrannical policies being enacted by nearly every single country on the face of the planet when they were trying to intimidate, force people to inoculate themselves against COVID-19. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment below.
Subscribe for more.